be discussing true, false, not given questions from Ielts reading passage named The Life and Work of Marie Curie. We'll try to simplify these questions, we'll try to explain these questions, discuss their answers with reasons, the techniques, the strategies, and the tricks or the traps which we find in Ielts reading passages. So, without wasting our time, let's see what is our first question. Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner of both Marie's Nobel Prizes. Marie Curie, she got 2 Nobel Prizes because the word in the question is both. And her husband was a joint winner. This is what we have to search for. It means both of them, they got these Nobel Prizes together. Now the text says, with her husband Pierre Curie and Henry Becquerel, she was awarded the 1903 Nobel Prize for Physics and was then sole winner of 1911 Nobel Prize for Chemistry. So the text is clearly mentioning she got 2 Nobel Prizes, one for physics in 1903 and other for chemistry in 1911. But the first was shared with her husband and another person named Henry Becquerel. And second, she got alone. She was the sole winner. So the information should be false. Our second question is, Mary became interested in science when she was a child. The meaning is, Marie Curie started developing an interest in science when she was a child. It means from childhood. Now the text is saying from childhood, Mary was remarkable for her prodigious memory and at the age of 16 won a gold medal on completion of her secondary education. Now see, text is talking about childhood, but giving us information about her memory, that it was prodigious. Prodigious means remarkably impressive. It means if something you memorize, you will not forget it easily. So she had sharp memory from childhood, and because of that, she won gold medal on completion of her secondary education. But we're not able to find anything about her interest in science from childhood. So it means there is no information about Mary developing interest in science from childhood. This statement should be not given because there is no information about it. Our third question is, Mary was able to attend the Sorbonne because of her sister's financial contribution. Sorbonne is the name of the institution. She was able to attend this because of her sister's financial support. And we have to search for this answer, that Mary was able to study in this particular institution because her sister financially supported her. Now see, the text is saying because her father lost his savings through bad investment. Her means Mary's father lost his savings because of bad investment. She then had to work as a teacher. Now Mary started working as a teacher. From her earnings, she was able to finance her sister Bronia's medical studies in Paris. Now, whatever she earned, she was able to support her sister's medical studies in Paris. And on the understanding means there was a kind of agreement or a promise that Bronia would in turn later help her to get an education. Now, there was an agreement or understanding between them that later Bronia would support her education. In 1891, this promise was fulfilled. That and Mary went to Paris and began to study at the Sorbonne. Now, this promise was fulfilled is giving us answer that Bronia later supported her studies at Paris because we've read about the words in the previous paragraph on the understanding. It means there was a kind of agreement between them and this promise was fulfilled. Our next question is, Mary stopped doing research for several years when her children were born. The meaning of this question is, Mary took a break from her research work because of the birth of her children. And let's search for this answer. The text is saying the births of Mary's 2 daughters, Irene and Eve, in 1897 and 1904 failed to interrupt her scientific work. Failed to interrupt. It means did not interrupt. She continued her scientific work. And the information is opposite to the question. Question is saying she stopped doing research. So the answer should be false. Our next question is, Mary took over the teaching position her husband had held. The meaning of this question is the teaching position which Mary's husband was holding was now taken over by Mary. It means now she was working at her husband's position. Let's search for this. Now, the text says on May 13, 1906, she was appointed to the professorship that had been left vacant on her husband's death. Now, on this particular date, that is May 13, 1906, she was appointed to the position of a professor, professorship, the text is saying, that had been left vacant on her husband's death. It means the position that had been left vacant on her husband's death. Because of her husband's death, the position was vacant. She was given the position of a professor. The information agrees. Why? Because now she is holding the teaching position which was once held by her husband. So the answer is true. Next is Mary's sister Bronia studied the medical uses of radioactivity. There is no information about this question in the text. So this is very easy kind of not given. Why? Because there is no information.